Well, it's Christmas Eve, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm a little miffed. I was hoping to review a Transformers Christmas special as a brand new gift. A story of Starscream learning about Christmas is what this was. And when the Dread Dormammu showed this to me, I was stricken with awe. But the lack of scans for this comic book left me feeling blue. I sought out the Punisher Christmas special Helsing 920 reviewed, but in failure to find that, I came across another one titled The List, and when I found only 10 pages of that, I wound up angrily shaking my fist. So feeling desperate and dismayed, I went to Plan B, and decided to review a manga, you see. Chapter 5 of 13 of Ranma Half. And many of you are probably looking at me as if I'm quite daft. The title is Santa's Disciples. It has a Christmas feel to it, no doubt. But many of you who are manga haters are probably going to sit and pout. It's weird indeed, this much is true. So, I'm going to have to fill you in for those who don't have a clue. Ranma Half is the story of a boy named Ranma who takes a trip to China with his father to visit an old friend of his dad's. In this trip, they wind up taking an unexpected swim in 2 different ponds. The father comes out looking like a panda, and Ranma comes out looking like a girl. Why? Well, apparently in this in particular storyline, there is a series of ponds in China that have a mystical aspect of turning anyone who swims in them into the very creature or being that wound up drowning in them originally. As such, a panda wound up drowning in one of the ponds, and a woman wound up drowning in another, thus the adverse effect on Ranma and his dad. The only way they can revert back to their original forms is if they're doused in hot water. Yeah, I know. It's weird. But many of you who are fans of the series are probably sitting there with a huge grin. So let's not waste any more time and dive right in. Akane is leaving a vegetable shop. Upon spying kids, she happens to stop. They show a picture of an old man they happen to seek, of whom, as we see in the next page, seems to be a panty-stealing freak, of which Ranma appears to put his lights out, and then the women finish him off by stamping about. Upon spotting the old man, these children proclaim that he is Santa Claus with absolutely no shame. You see, coming to meet him was part of their plan, so old man Hokusai has to explain this as best he can. You see, he was drunk one Christmas Eve and out on a penny raid, much to others' dismay. A lecherous old man in a manga comedy? A cliché. So amidst his romping, he becomes a pantyhose-loving sap, and falls prey to a Santa-catching trap. So the children believe that they've kidnapped St. Nick. Poor tykes, they're unaware of how he's a manipulating old dick. So they decide to celebrate with some good old-fashioned Christmas cheer. Oh, you know, with some cake, chicken, and Japanese brand beer. So, the little boy expresses his aspiration of becoming Santa's aide, to which the old man obliges him if he can find where St. Nicholas stayed. With his mind made up, the boy declares his choice. It's too bad he'll be listening to an old, decrepit, lecherous voice. So Hokusai trains these poor, helpless children in the way of the panty raid, while he has to get past the Ranma barricade. And thus, hilarious hijinks ensue, while Ranma Half is determined to keep the lecherous old grandpa under his shoe. So time after time, Ranma thwarts his grandfather's lecherous plans while becoming in greater need of medic bands. And so Hokusai takes pride in his new pupil's innocence as he recalls a time when he wasn't treated with such great reverence. So he believes he finally found the kindness he deserves, when according to Ranma here, he needs to get kicked to the curb. And thus Ranma doubts the old man's sense of goodwill, to which he takes it like a bitter pill, saying that the fourth law is to do good deeds. Poor old man. He should have sown good seeds. For the lack of doing so has caused him to be filled with doubt. Actually, it looks more like he shorted himself out. What? You think I'm kidding? I tell no lie. It was uttered by the lips of the bald guy. So, feeling remorse, the children brought Santa a present. A pair of his dad's boxers! How pleasant! So, feeling dismayed, the child begins to doubt of what being Santa's little helper is really about. So, Akane wonders if Helposai feels guilty about what he did. And Rama just replies to not count on it. And so our chapter ends with quite the delight, as Old Man Helposai goes poom in the darkness of night. Now, I pretty much enjoyed this chapter, but that's just me. Check it out yourselves should you ever come across Rama Half Volume 13. Now, I bid you all a Merry Christmas, and have a good night. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to shut off the light.